Welcome to Bipolar Talks, where we explore mental health with compassion and understanding. Before we dive in, please take a mindful moment to settle in, breathe deeply, and listen with an open heart and mind. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Your support helps others find this important conversation. Thank you for your patience and for staying with me. I truly appreciate your presence here. I was half expecting a mass exodus. I hope that what I share is worth your time. Let's begin. When I was about 12 years old, I was introduced to a group of companions unlike any others. They were enthralling, delightful, entertaining, and amusing. Their conversations captivated me, filled with fascinating ideas that pulled me in deeply. Yet just as quickly, their demeanor could change. Suddenly, their words became harsh, brutal, and critical. They crushed my spirit with a savagery I wasn't prepared for. It was a confusing and painful duality. These voices, as I call them, promised to stick by me. They said they would never desert me, and true to their word, they became protectors and guides, but also punishers if I failed to meet their expectations. We would spend hours in deep conversation, during which they taught me harsh lessons. That the world is a dangerous place, that I was hated, that people wanted to get rid of me. They told me I was useless, hopeless, fat, ugly, and stupid. Things I had tried desperately to hide from myself and others, but they exposed these truths mercilessly. Their words made me terrified of going out and suspicious of everyone around me. Paradoxically, they told me I was a messenger from God, promising redemption if I proved myself worthy. Yet these promises led me down dark paths, full of false enlightenment and bitter disappointment. I became dependent on them. My companions were authoritative but vibrant, impossible to ignore. They seemed to know everything, and I was completely absorbed by their presence. Over time, it became hopeless to escape their hold. I pushed everyone else out of my life, even those who loved me most. I was trapped in a slave-master relationship with these voices. It is impossible to flourish hidden from light. I constantly sought their approval, praise, and entry into their inner sanctum. Yet that door stayed firmly closed. This endless disappointment reinforced my self-loathing, which dominated every thought. I became isolated, cut off from all the wonder the world has to offer. And yet, without them, I felt desolate and alone. They filled a huge void in my life. You see, I hear voices. I hear many voices, male, female, young, old, even with strange accents. They obsess over me, observing and commenting on my every thought and action. There is no privacy or sanctuary. These voices can access my mind at will, never ceasing their relentless commentary and criticism. This chorus of internal narrators meddles in every part of my life. You might wonder, what is it really like to hear voices? I'm a pretty typical voice hearer. I hear people when no one else is around, clear and concise as if they were standing in front of me. Most often, the voices come from behind, prompting me to look around. Sometimes there is someone there, sometimes not, but the experience feels the same. Like many who hear voices, I live in a world dominated by words. Words have power, they can defame and defile, but they can also bring a heart back to life. I've come to view these voices as an extreme form of anxiety, a coping mechanism for managing overwhelming worry and fear. When feelings become too intense, the mind says, "You can't cope." So it develops this strategy to survive the emotional onslaught. The primary purpose of these voices seems to be isolation, creating an environment where they have exclusive access to me. This deprives me of any alternative viewpoints, leaving me completely ruled by their perspective. That isolation then becomes a form of protection, a shield against the anguish of living with a fragile, vulnerable soul. Clinically, this experience is called auditory hallucinations. In simple terms, I hear sounds that others don't. That's my reality, and I accept it. Not everyone understands or shares this experience, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. Our mental health exists on a continuum, a sliding scale from low to extreme stress influenced by life events. Life is stressful for everyone, and none of us are immune to trials and tribulations. Humans are brilliant at handling complex challenges, but internal vulnerabilities like fear of failure, rejection, conflict, or loss of control make us susceptible to certain stressors. We carry these vulnerabilities like a backpack filled with emotional burdens. Most of the time, it's light and manageable. But when life adds more weight, an argument with a loved one, losing your phone, the death of a beloved relative, or even your pet needing emergency care, the load grows heavier. Stress accumulates, shifting us from medium to high to unbearable levels. Everyone has a limit for stress tolerance. Add in our internal vulnerabilities, and the effects multiply exponentially. When overwhelmed, voice hearing can emerge as a distraction, a way to divert attention from painful emotions and fears. These voices become guides to navigate a world filled with adversity and hostility. Fear is a natural response, protecting us from danger. For voice hearers, this fear is triggered repeatedly and persistently. Feeling unsafe, we scan constantly for threats. And when you're searching for danger, you tend to find it, which only raises anxiety further. Eventually, this hypervigilance becomes a default state, and extreme fear can spiral into panic, which is debilitating. When panic hits, I seek refuge, sometimes shutting down completely, struggling to keep calm on the outside while chaos rages within. At those moments, you might see me talking openly to my voices. When calls for help and acceptance are ignored or rejected, coping becomes even more difficult. Please understand, this is not madness. It's a person enduring unbearable psychological and emotional pain. When overwhelmed and desperate, hiding away to lick wounds is a natural human response. It's not insanity, it's survival. The idea of madness is a social construct, shaped by cultural and historical norms. Consider that until 1974, homosexuality and epilepsy were classified as mental illnesses, or that behaviors like masturbation and smoking in church were once seen as symptoms. You might be surprised to learn that about 1 in 25 people report hearing voices. History is full of voice hearers. Figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Joan of Arc, and Winston Churchill, all regarded as great leaders, yet their experiences might be pathologized by today's standards. For me, I'm only mad because someone else says I am. If I say my neighbor warned me not to drink from the tap because it's contaminated, I'm socially connected. If I say a voice told me the same thing, suddenly I'm crazy. If I claim I hear the voices of the dead, I might even get a TV show. Please don't be fooled by negative stereotypes about voice hearers. These misconceptions stem from ignorance and arrogance. Hearing voices is not necessarily a lifelong affliction that leads to progressive decline. Many people lead full, thriving lives despite hearing voices. I have found a key through perseverance, support, and proactive commitment to liberate myself and my voices. I now dedicate my time to helping others who hear distressing voices, working in a clinical setting in New Zealand. We create a safe, compassionate environment for people whose lives have been shattered by negative voices, those who have lost family, friends, and their spiritual and material richness. Voice hearers generously share their expertise and wisdom, providing a rich treasury of information and strategies born from their own experience. I applaud their courage as they face daily challenges with bravery. I thank those who journey with us, the wonderful people who believe we are worth the effort. It is this quality that will help us create a better world for everyone. And I thank you for listening with your compassionate hearts and inquisitive minds. Your presence here supports me in ways you may not realize. I am a fearful person, quick-thinking, desperate to be liked, and burdened by low self-esteem and excessive worry. I laugh too loud and talk too much, but I am also kind, generous, and cheerful. I possess a mutinous mind, but I am not mad. Thank you for listening. If you found this story meaningful, please like, comment, subscribe, and share to support Bipolar Talks and help spread awareness. Disclaimer: this YouTube video is for informational purposes only. Please consult a qualified mental health professional for diagnosis and treatment tailored to your individual needs.